Okay, yeah, no, that's fine.
Call to order the city council meeting July 14th, 2020. We stand with the pledge of allegiance. Please raise your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
A quorum is present for City Council, Successor Agency, and Housing Authority.
Any persons wanting to discuss any item on the agenda may do so at this time. First of all, the call-in line is on the screen, and it's 1-888-251-2949 or 251-861-0694. The access code for both is 739-4863 pound. Operator, are there any call-ins? Hearing no comment, we move on to item 1, CSA 1 and H1.
Warrant register.
Madam Clerk?
City Council, Successor Agency, and Housing Authority members: Dodson. Padilla. Morales. Franklin. Mayor Chairman Butts.
Aye. Excuse me? All right. Caller?
We are here.
Okay, you have a call,
Yes.
Go right ahead.
We have several callers on the line. No questions or comments at this time.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, what's the next scheduled matter?
The next scheduled matter is a public hearing to consider extending the moratorium established by ordinance number 1915 up to an additional 180 days on any self-storage facilities in the city or upon the effective date of the self-storage facility ordinance.
Has the notice of the hearing been given in the time, form, and manners required by law? And do you have the affidavit on file?
Notice has been given and affidavit is on file.
Have any communications been received?
No communications have been received.
Are there any persons present that wish to address the city council on this matter? Operator, are there any persons present? Okay.
None.
Okay, well, you can give a staff
None
report.
of this.
Mayor and council members, before you today is an ordinance to extend the current moratorium on self-storage facilities that is set to expire on July 16th, 2020. This action would extend the moratorium 180 days, which would extend it to January 12th, 2021. This moratorium was originally established in order to allow staff time to evaluate the self-storage facility landscape in the city and bring proposed amendments forward to the Planning Commission and City Council for their consideration. And while staff has conducted substantial research on this matter, additional time is needed to conclude the research and bring proposed amendments forward to the Planning Commission, City Council, and take it through the notification and public hearing process. As such, 180 days is recommended to complete these actions. That concludes staff presentation.
Thank you. Madam Operator, are there any members of the public that wish to comment?
There are none.
All right. Is there a motion by the council?
So move. The ordinance.
Second.
I'm
Madam-
sorry, also motion to waive further reading.
Second.
We do
Madam
that-
Clerk?
We do that first.
Council members: Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla, Morales,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. Now, will someone move to introduce and adopt?
Who's introducing it?
Second.
What?
It's already been moved actually by
Ralph did
Ralph
already.
Yeah,
Franklin.
I'm
Moved in
asking who-
second.
Well, we still have to vote on it. They're two
Yeah.
separate.
Right.
Okay. Madam Clerk?
Council members: Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. Consent calendar, items 2 through 5.
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Council members: Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. SPH 1.
Staff report requesting that a public hearing be set to receive public comments and take final action on the draft fiscal year 2020-2021 annual action plan.
Set the public hearing for July 21st, 2020 at 2 p.m. SPH 2.
Staff report requesting that a public hearing be set to initiate proceedings for the annual levy and collection of assessments for the Morningside Park Maintenance Assessment District 1974-2.
So before we do that, would you two, SPH 2 through SPH 5, and we'll vote on them as a group?
You want me to go ahead? Okay.
Yes.
Do them all at one time.
Do them all at one time.
SPH 2 is staff report requesting that a public hearing be set to initiate proceedings for the annual levy and collection assessment for Morningside Park Maintenance District 1974-2. SPH 3 is staff report requesting that a public hearing be set to initiate proceedings for the annual levy and collection of assessments for the in-town Maintenance Assessment District 1975-1. SPH 4 is staff report requesting that a public hearing be set to initiate proceedings for the annual levy and collection of assessments for Inglewood Street Lighting Assessment District number 1980-1. And SPH 5 is staff report requesting that a public hearing be set to initiate proceedings for the annual levy and collection of assessments for Darby Dixon Maintenance Assessment District number 1987-1.
So move 1, 2, and 3 on SPH 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Second.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Council members: Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. A1.
Thank you, Mayor. As to the closed session item number CS1, there was a closed session. The discussion was held and no reportable action taken. As to A2, there's no oral reports from the city attorney's office.
CM1.
Thank you, Mayor. There are no oral reports from the city manager's office.
CC1.
No remarks. Thank you, Mayor.
Any persons wishing to address the city council on any matter connected to city business not elsewhere, consider an agenda may do so at this time. 1 minute. Madam Operator, is there anybody on the line?
None.
All right. 1 minute, Ms. Brown.
Yes, I'd like to, I'm the treasurer of the city. I would just like to point out regarding the current, for the fiscal year 18-19, the negative unrestricted fund balance has increased from $450 million to $475 million, an increase of $25.4 million. Employee layoffs have happened. I know of 3 that have been laid off, And also the liabilities, our assets exceed our liabilities by $165 million. That's negative. Furloughs are possibly scheduled later on in the year, and the city is to be closed every Friday. I'd also like to point out that over again, with what's all going on with regard to the city, the council has said that I've been giving out negative information. I've been a treasurer for 32 years. The state controller, Betty Yee, agrees with me. The former supervisor of Orange County, John Morlock, agrees with me, as well as the former city manager for the city of Santa Monica, in a recent article in the LA Times, also agrees with me.
Ms. Brown, you're at
And
time.
so the treasurer
Ms.
has
Brown,
given
you're at-
correct information.
Ms. Brown, you're at time. Ms. Brown, Ms. Brown, thank you very much. You're at time. So-
Mayor, Aisha has some public
Sure.
comments
Aisha?
from an email that we got in. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We received an email from Allison Gallagher, and she states, writing because a dear friend, partner stated a petition for her brother, BJ Slater, who was killed by Inglewood PD in 2019. She says she's been reaching out to various state and relevant elected officials to share BJ's story and the link to the petition that is gaining steam quickly, and she lists the email. And then she says, BJ's sister Crystal was hoping to attend the meeting of the Citizen Police Oversight Commission this evening to share her brother's story and engage the commission since it was set up to be a system of civilian oversight of allegations of police misconduct. However, it appears that tonight's meeting, like every single meeting before since November 8, 2017, was canceled. This begs the question, how much oversight is the committee providing? Where are people who have valid grievances with the Inglewood Police Department supposed to turn to, have their voice heard? Since the mayor and each member of the Inglewood City Council appointed 2 members to the commission, I'm curious if you have checked in with your appointed members to hear why they've canceled meetings for the last 2.5 years. It is absolutely outrageous that this committee hasn't even attempted to live up to its purpose. As a refresher, your website states, yes.
Your minutes
Yes,
are-
sir, thank you.
Okay, so, council comments. Ms. Quakey, could you come up for a minute? Now, the unrestricted fund balance, the general fund unrestricted fund balance, describe what that is.
Unrestricted fund balance would be the balance of funds that are not allocated or restricted for a specific purpose, legally bound.
Exactly. Now, Ms. Brown, don't you do that, please? Now, so is that at a negative 24 million, is Ms. Brown?
Pardon me?
Has that declined 24 million, as Ms. Brown stated?
The unrestricted, I
Yeah, the
believe the
unrestricted
numbers,
fund balance.
I believe the number she's referring to could be the unfunded liability section,
Absolutely.
which is in the
But
long,
we'll get to that.
Okay.
But I'm asking you what she said, the unrestricted fund balance. She's a treasurer, she's a doctor in accounting. So now, the unrestricted fund balance referred to, is that, Ms. Brown, is that
is it a negative?
24, has it lost 24 million?
No.
Okay, now, when it comes to the CAFR outlines what? The totality of liabilities, unfunded and otherwise, is that right?
Correct.
So let's explain to people what an unfunded liability is. First of all, is that a real number or is that a projection?
It's a projection.
Okay? Let's take, for instance, excuse me. No. Now, I'm asking her questions. Now, Ms. Brown, you're gonna have to leave the chamber if you keep interrupting, all right? Stop. Okay, now, so, when it comes to total liabilities, including unfunded liabilities, that unfunded number Is that a real number or is that a projection in the future if certain criteria are met?
It's a projection. It's a projection.
Okay, now, when it comes to pension liability, is that included in that total CAFR number?
Yes.
Unfunded liabilities?
Yes,
Does that number assume what we would owe today if the city went out of business? If the city went out of business and we had to pay the retirements for everyone that's out there in the world until the actuarial table said that they would die, and everyone that worked here for the benefits they've accrued till now, this is what we would have to have in the bank to pay what's promised to them, is that right?
yes,
Is it likely that the city is going to go out of business today?
no,
The city has been in business since 1908, is that right?
yes.
And it's never gone out of business. So the reality is this similar to, and not even the same as, assuming that you had to pay off your entire mortgage today? That
Yes.
you were gonna lose your job and you had to have so much money in the bank, say you owe $700,000 on your mortgage. And now you assume that you're gonna lose your job today and never work again. Well, then you have a $700,000 unfunded liability, isn't that right?
It's correct.
Okay. Now, let's go to, what else did Ms. Brown say? Oh, yeah, okay, now, Mr. Fields, have we entertained furloughs and layoffs?
No, we have not.
All right. Now,
And closed every Friday?
have there been any discussion of closing every Friday?
No discussion whatsoever.
Okay, so where would Ms. Brown have gotten that from? Did she get it from you?
I have no idea.
No, excuse me. No, you're not, we really don't want to hear any more from you. Okay, now, okay, fine. Okay, so you have not announced that we're going to do furloughs.
No, I've not.
You have not announced that we're going to close every other Friday.
No, I've not.
Has the council told you or suggested that?
No.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Quake.
Thank you.
Councilman Dodson, District 1. No, we heard enough from you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. You know,
You're out of line. Go ahead.
we have a process here that I wish everybody would adhere to. If you got something to say, come to the mic and say it at that time. But after your time is up, please respect this council and be quiet. It doesn't take anything to do that. It's just a thing to do. Only thing I'd like to say, Mayor, is that reminding the people that this virus is still with us and it's ravishing in other cities and states. So be very careful, wash your hands, wear your mask, stay separated if that's possible. Other than that, have a wonderful day and a great weekend.
Thank you. Councilman Padilla.
Thank you, Mayor. And again, you know, it's unfortunate when we have somebody come up to a microphone to spread stuff that's not even accurate or true, and that person is in no decision-making position that would know that. She doesn't get involved in those decisions. So she gets up and she speaks like that, and then you left her purse. She left her purse on the ground, so if security, if you guys.
Don't let her touch
So
that.
the thing is that she comes up and she talks about stuff that she's not even in the decision-making position to talk about that stuff. You know, and she does it like she's the wizard or something that's gonna be able to make that decision, and that's not accurate, and it's not true, and it spreads mistruths. And that's very unfortunate, and then to come up, and when other people are speaking, to interrupt those folks, that's not necessary, that's not the way we do things. When she's up here, we let her talk, let her say what she's gonna say, but we're gonna correct it. Like I said last week, we're not gonna let folks come up here and talk trash and then not hold them accountable for what they're saying. And she needs to understand that. Furloughs, layoffs, closing every Friday, I don't know where she's getting that from. You heard, it's not coming from the city manager or none of us up here on the dais. We haven't heard anything. So that being said, you know, and again, it's unfortunate we even have to address that.
Was there ever a police
I do want to thank Inglewood Park Cemetery, their CFO, Rick Miller, and their community outreach folks, Monica Bracho, and all the folks at the cemetery that contributed cans of food that all were donated to the St. Margaret Center right here on Inglewood Avenue to help those families in need. And so, I mean, they are a part of our community, and they are giving back to families in and around the city of Inglewood. So I want to thank the Inglewood Park Cemetery for doing their part to help folks in need. Mayor, if you could please close in the memory of a very good friend of mine's father that passed away on Saturday morning, Gustavo Ungo Sr. We all called him Bevel. And it's funny because I couldn't even think of his first name other than Mr. Ungo, you know? But man, a legend. They did so many for our young men and women. And, just want to, let them know that we're continuing to keep them and their family in our thoughts and prayers. That's for Mr. Gustavo Ungo Sr. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilman Franklin?
Yeah, Mayor, and let me give you your props for chairing this meeting, particularly when our meetings are being disrupted. What's more important for me is identifying we're not creating any kind of panic, city manager or this council, that we're putting fear, that we're talking about layoffs, furloughs, and closures on every Friday. I'm glad we addressed that issue, putting the staff at ease, that is business as usual. As we've already indicated, this council and staff work diligently to generate a reserve unencumbered to make sure that we could handle this emergency such as the COVID-19 epidemic. And so it's our leadership that makes these sound decisions that is what's keeping us afloat. And I just want to thank everyone for doing it. Thank you.
Thank you,
Mayor.
Thank you so much. Councilman Morales?
Thank you, and just, not to keep it going, because we end up giving it more time than it's worth, but we do have to address it like Alex says. And the thing about it is that it's unfortunate that the public has to listen to it, and it's unfortunate that our employees have to listen to it, and then in some cases wonder if something about their employment is in jeopardy. So we want to let everyone know that if those announcements are made, they're not gonna come from that podium, they'll be from here, the dais, and until that happens, they're not real. So, God be with Ms. Brown, hopefully she gets better, but the truth of the matter is, this continues to be a very valuable meeting and part of our efforts on a daily basis. So that being said, Mayor, I would also like to reiterate the closing in memory of Mr. Gustavo Ongo Sr. Bevel, like Alex said, and we all know his son, and we all know that his family over the years has really been part of the community, both accumulating property, but just having such real endearment within the city and helping a variety of groups, sports groups, nonprofits, just nonstop, and they continue to do so. So may he rest in peace. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. And I want to thank all of you. I want to thank you particularly, Councilman Franklin, because you reminded me of something that was very important that I didn't address. Now, you heard Mrs. Brown get up and say, where is such and such, where is such and such? One of the employees that she mentioned is out on illness leave and has HIPAA protections about her status. And so for her as an elected official to get up and mention someone's name that she admittedly doesn't know where the person is and extrapolate that to a layoff is unconscionable for an elected official. That's something you would expect from a gadfly. And then to mention the former city manager of Santa Monica's statements, who stepped down with 1 day's notice because they found themselves $75 million upside down before June in Santa Monica, that was the precursor to laying off over 200 people, with more to come in the next fiscal year, to use that person as a standard for our city is outrageous. I will tell you definitively, this fiscal year, the one that ends and starts, the next one starts in October, we're not laying anybody off. Now, we do have enough reserves so that we don't have to do the things that she talked about. We'll wait till the end of the first quarter of next year, and we'll see where we are. We'll see where COVID has our revenues. But right now, we're good. And so for someone that's an elected official to get up and try to start panic, I don't believe that. Again, to compare us to Santa Monica as though a city manager that resigned suddenly because of the fiscal situation there is somehow the judge of us is incredible to me. So I definitely want to close the meeting in the name of Gustavo Ogo Sr. I knew the family very well. I've known them since I came back to Inglewood. Great family. The man is definitely a patriarch. And with that, we're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Council.